My husband told me he wanted to renew our marriage after 12 years. He booked a trip, bought me jewelry, and started coming home early. But then I found a Tinder notification on his phone. When I opened it, his profile said, "Just got out of a toxic marriage. Looking for something real." I didn't confront him. I waited until our anniversary dinner. I slid my ring across the table and said, "Happy ending." Then I pulled out my own profile with screenshots of every woman he'd messaged. The waitress looked horrified. He left before dessert. I left with her number. We'd been married for 12 years. Mark and I met in San Diego in our late 20s when we were both working long hours and living off frozen meals and dreams. Things weren't perfect, but we'd built a life. We got through hard times, including the year I lost my mom and the year he got laid off. We had fights, dry spells, moments we both pulled away, but I always believed we were in it for the long haul. A few months ago, he changed. It started with small things. He began coming home from work earlier. No more late nights at the office. He started helping more around the house, doing dishes without being asked, folding laundry before I even got to it. He even suggested therapy, which we'd never tried. Said he wanted us to be closer again. He booked a weekend trip to Big Bear. Out of nowhere, he bought me a sapphire necklace, deep blue, my birthstone. He hadn't bought me jewelry in years. He told me he wanted to renew our marriage. At first, I was touched. I cried. I believed him. Then I found his phone. He left it on the couch one night. He was in the shower. A Tinder notification popped up on the lock screen. I didn't even know he had Tinder installed. I opened it. I know that's a violation of privacy, but I felt sick already. His profile was right there. Full name, his picture, the same one he uses on LinkedIn, and his bio. Just got out of a toxic marriage. Looking for something real. No drama. I sat there, my mouth dry, reading the messages he'd sent. Dozens of women. Some local. Some clearly not. All recent. I can't believe I wasted so much time. My ex was cold and bitter. I need something softer. You seem like sunshine. I've been through storms. My hands were shaking. He had taken me on that trip while messaging a woman about how his heart was finally healing. I didn't cry right away. I took screenshots. Every message. Every picture. I even sent them to my own email in case he wiped his phone. I didn't confront him that night. I needed time to plan. Our anniversary was coming up in a week. We had reservations at this fancy rooftop restaurant in downtown San Diego. I decided I'd wait until then. I wanted him to remember it. The day came. I dressed up, wore the necklace he gave me, put on perfume he used to like. He looked happy when I came out of the bedroom. "You look beautiful," he said, kissing my cheek. I smiled back. The dinner started off normal. He ordered us champagne. Talked about going back to Big Bear in the fall. I played along. I nodded. I laughed in the right spots. Then dessert came. Before the waitress set it down, I took off my wedding ring and slid it across the table to him. "Happy ending," I said. He blinked. "What?" I took out my phone. I opened the folder I'd saved. "This is you, right?" I turned it toward him. His face drained. "Tinder. Messages. The one where you said I was cold and bitter? That was a nice touch." He looked around the restaurant like he might disappear into the walls. The waitress had just arrived with our dessert. She froze, unsure what was going on. She glanced at the screen and her eyes widened. Mark didn't say a word. He stood up, tossed his napkin on the chair, and walked out. He left before dessert. I stayed. The waitress came back, hesitantly. "Are you okay?" she asked. I nodded. "More than okay, actually." We talked a bit. She said she'd seen a lot of breakups in that restaurant, but nothing like that. She asked if I was serious about leaving him. "Dead serious," I said. When the bill came, she slipped her number under the receipt. "In case you want to talk. Or drink. Or just vent." I left with her number. And that's where it really began. To be continued, continue the story, add conflicts or story twist, keeping the details sharp and the tone dramatic, use simple words. No ending yet. Part 2. After the dinner after that night, I didn't hear from Mark for 3 days. Not a call, not a text. Nothing. I spent those 3 days cleaning out our apartment. I packed up his things, his clothes, his dumb sports memorabilia, the box of cards he used to collect like they meant something. I put them all in black garbage bags and set them in the garage. On the 4th day, he showed up. No warning. Just a knock on the door. I opened it. He looked like hell. Unshaven, tired, wearing the same hoodie he always wore when he wanted pity. "Can we talk?" he asked. I didn't let him in. I stood in the doorway. He tried to explain. "I was going through something. I didn't mean to hurt you. The Tinder stuff, it was stupid. I wasn't serious with any of them." I stared at him. "You called me toxic." He flinched. "I didn't mean that. You said I was cold. That I wasted your time. I was just trying to get attention. You don't understand." "I understand perfectly," I cut in. "You played house while searching for someone new. That's worse than just cheating." He looked over my shoulder. "Where's my stuff?" "In the garage. In bags." I changed the locks. That hit him. He paused. "So that's it? 12 years and you're just done? You ended it when you made that profile." "I'm just cleaning up." He left. Finally. I stood there until he got in his car and drove off. That night, I texted the waitress. Her name was Elise. I didn't expect anything. Just someone to talk to, but we met for drinks the next night. She was kind, easy to talk to. We didn't talk about Mark much. We talked about work, about bad dates, about movies we loved as kids. It felt good. Real. And then something happened I didn't expect. Mark's sister called me. Her name is Jenny. We've always been close. She was even my maid of honor. She sounded nervous. "I just thought you should know. Mark's telling people you cheated." I nearly dropped the phone. "What?" "He's telling our parents, some of our friends. Said you were having an affair with some woman from your gym. That you've been unfaithful for months." I was silent. Jenny kept talking. "He's trying to flip the story. Says you embarrassed him at dinner. That you've been emotionally distant for years." I sat down hard on the couch. "You don't believe him, right?" "No," she said quickly. "But a lot of people might. He's good at sounding hurt." I just didn't want you to be blindsided. I thanked her and hung up. That night, I logged into Facebook. Mark had changed his relationship status to separated. In the comments, his friends were consoling him. "Stay strong, man. You deserve someone loyal." She didn't appreciate you. I didn't comment. I didn't post anything. Not yet. But I started gathering receipts. Every message. Every screenshot. Even the email confirmations of his dating app subscriptions. I wasn't going to post anything public, not yet. But I wasn't going to let him flip the story either. He wanted drama? He was about to get it. The next week was a blur. I started getting strange looks at work. One of my coworkers, Tanya, pulled me aside in the break room. "Hey," she said gently, "I saw something weird." Mark posted a screenshot on his Instagram story. It looked like your text messages. Said you were cheating with some bartender. I felt my stomach drop. I hadn't texted any bartender. I asked her to show me. She did. It was a screenshot, all right, my name at the top, a fake conversation that looked like I was confessing to meeting up with someone after hours. The messages were formatted like they were real, but I could tell they were fake. A bad Photoshop job, but convincing enough if you didn't look too hard. "He's faking texts now," I muttered, rage buzzing through me. I got in touch with Jenny again. She was furious. "This is next level insane," she said. "He's telling everyone you left him for a woman and had been planning it for years." That's when it hit me. The waitress. Elise. He was trying to twist that too. He must have found out we were still talking. Maybe someone had seen us out. Maybe he'd driven by my place. Suddenly I felt exposed, paranoid. I didn't know how deep he was willing to go. So I did something I didn't think I'd ever do. I met with one of the women he'd messaged on Tinder. Her name was Stacy. I found her through a bit of careful sleuthing. One of the screenshots had a partial name and city. I tracked her down on Facebook and messaged her. Told her everything. Asked if she'd talk. She agreed to meet. We got coffee near her job, and I told her everything. She looked shocked. I thought he was divorced, she said. He said it had been over for a while. That you were mean. Controlling. I pulled out my phone and showed her the pictures from the trip he took me on. Just weeks ago. Her mouth dropped. This was during? Yep. Then she said something I wasn't ready for. He told me he wanted to move in together. Like, soon. He was talking about jobs out in Arizona. Said he wanted to start fresh. I stared at her. He was going to move with you? He was serious. Or acted like it. I feel sick. That night, I made a decision. I wasn't just going to leave quietly. I wasn't going to let him rewrite history. I contacted a lawyer. Not just for the divorce, but for defamation. I also printed every screenshot I had. Photos. Message logs. A timeline. I made a folder. I sent it to Jenny, to a few of our mutual friends who had stopped talking to me. I wrote a simple message. You've heard his story. Here's mine. Then I got a text from Elise. Hey, I think someone followed me home tonight. My heart dropped. I called her immediately. She was okay, but shaken. Said a car was parked across the street for almost an hour. When she stepped outside, it drove off. She caught the color and model. It matched Mark's car. That night, I barely slept. He wasn't just lying now. He was watching. The next morning, I filed a police report. I didn't have concrete proof it was him, but I wanted it on record. Elise agreed to write a statement too. I could see she was trying to stay calm, but this had rattled her. I don't want to be part of some twisted revenge game, she said. You're not, I told her. This is about him trying to scare people. He's not used to losing. That same day, Mark called me. I let it go to voicemail. He didn't leave a message. Then, 5 minutes later, a new email landed in my inbox. No subject. No signature. Just a PDF attachment named truth.pdf. I opened it. Inside was a long, rambling letter. It was half confession, half accusation. He wrote that he never meant to hurt anyone, but claimed I had emotionally abandoned him years ago. That he had suffered in silence and Tinder was just a way to feel wanted. He said Elise was a homewrecker and that I had fallen into the arms of the first person who paid attention to you. I stared at the screen in disbelief. This man destroyed our marriage, lied to dozens of women, and now blamed the woman who served us cheesecake? I forwarded the PDF to my lawyer. Then I got another call. It was Jenny again. Her voice was shaking. You're not going to believe this, she said. Mark showed up at Mom and Dad's. With Stacy. I blinked. What? He brought her over for dinner. Told them she was his girlfriend. That you'd been out of the picture for months. He even said you were threatening him. I laughed. I couldn't help it. He's lost it. Jenny wasn't laughing. I think he's trying to make you snap. Like, publicly. Make you the crazy one. I took a deep breath. He won't get that from me. But I was done sitting quietly. I asked Jenny if she'd record a video statement for me. She agreed. I reached out to Stacy again. She agreed too. That night, I posted a video to Facebook and Instagram. No drama. No yelling. Just facts. I said my piece. I showed dates, messages, screenshots. I included Jenny's clip, where she confirmed what Mark had said to the family. I kept it simple, respectful, and clear. I didn't even use his full name. But it spread fast. Within hours, I was getting messages from women I didn't even know. He messaged me too. I dated him for a few months last year. He told me you died. He said you cheated, that he was healing. I compiled them all. I wasn't trying to go viral. I was just trying to protect myself from a man who was trying to destroy my reputation. And then came the twist I didn't expect. One of the messages was from a woman named Carmen. She was older, maybe mid-40s, and said she met Mark through a business mixer 2 years ago. He never said he was married, she wrote. He said he lived alone. We went out a few times, but he ghosted me after I said I didn't want kids. My chest tightened. Mark had always said he never wanted kids, but now this woman was telling me he'd hinted at wanting a family with her. I called her. We talked for 20 minutes. I asked her if she was sure it was 2 years ago. Positive, she said. It was late September. I remember because I was moving apartments. That was the month I had emergency surgery and was in the hospital for 5 days. He hadn't come to visit once. He told me he was working double shifts to cover bills. I hung up and sat in silence. This didn't start recently. This had been going on for years. It all came crashing down faster than I expected. The video I posted made its rounds. Women kept messaging me, and I kept collecting their stories. The pile of receipts turned into a mountain. My lawyer suggested we prepare for potential legal blowback, but so far Mark had stayed quiet, publicly anyway. Privately, he was spiraling. I started getting strange texts from numbers I didn't recognize. Vague threats. You should stop. Think about your reputation. This won't end well for you. They all sounded like him, same passive-aggressive tone, same attempts to control without saying things outright. Elise kept a log too. She installed a dashcam after spotting his car near her place again. My lawyer had had enough. We filed for a protective order. Then we moved ahead with the divorce aggressively. I wasn't asking for anything he hadn't agreed to years ago. The house, my car, no alimony. But now? I wanted the house. I wanted spousal support. I wanted everything documented. And I wanted the truth to stick. We requested discovery in the divorce proceedings. That meant pulling his financial records. What we found made my stomach turn. He had spent over $6,000 on dating apps and hotel rooms in the past year, most of it charged to our joint credit card. Some of it even back during our therapy renewal phase. He was using money from our savings, money I thought was for our future, to pay for his lies. I showed everything to Jenny. She was devastated. Their parents stopped taking his calls after the second woman reached out to them directly. One of Mark's old coworkers even messaged me to say he'd hit on her too. It was unraveling fast. He tried once more to flip the script. He filed a counterclaim in the divorce, accusing me of emotional abuse and reputation harm. But my lawyer laughed when she saw it. We submitted every message, every photo, every video. Even Elise agreed to testify if it came to that. The final nail came from Carmen, the woman he dated while I was in the hospital. She had emails. Long, heartfelt ones. He had sent her poems, promises, and most damning of all, a scanned image of his divorce papers, dated 3 years earlier. Fake. He had faked a divorce certificate to convince women he was single. That became evidence too. At the final hearing, Mark didn't even show up. His lawyer spoke on his behalf. My lawyer handed over the thick folder of proof. The judge was stone-faced as she read through it. In the end, I got the house. I got the car. I got a full restraining order for both me and Elise. And Mark? He lost everything. The final message I got from him was short. Bitter. You ruined my life. I didn't respond. Elise and I stayed close. We took things slow, but steady. She never tried to fix me, never rushed me. Just stood by me when I rebuilt. Sometimes people ask why I posted the video. Why I didn't just leave. Here's the truth. Leaving is survival. But exposing the truth? That's the revenge. Let them see what he really was. Let him live with it. I did. And I'm finally free.